welcome to my channel, and today I will once again be watching a celebrity's top 4 to learn more about them because I am really nosy. I've now done this for Josh O'Connor, Hunter Schafer and Paul Mescal. The playlist is up here if you would like to watch any of those. This time it's Mikey Madison, and I will be watching Lulu by Maurice Pialat. I think that's how you say his name. Paris, Texas by Wim Wenders, and The Princess Diaries. I don't know who directed The Princess Diaries. The fourth pick that she had was The Prince of Brooklyn, and I didn't want to watch that. I didn't really feel like it was time for me to do that yet. I do want to do a dive into Sean Baker's work one day because I do really like his films. That film specifically being on this list feels like a bit of a cop-out answer from her because she's literally the lead of Anora, which is obviously Sean Baker's latest film. And after my Josh O'Connor video, I feel like actors have a tendency to choose films for their top 4 from their most recent director as a nod to the current press tour that they're currently doing this video of them picking their top 4 for. I also never really watch all 4 because this is my channel and I write the rules here, so I get to choose what I want to do. I always watch 3, so this is my 3. And at this time, I'm also rooting for Mikey to win the Best Actress Oscar. Fingers crossed, although she's not really won that many awards thus far. She was kind of a frontline person and then now she's kind of not. But regardless, it's my favourite Best Actress performance of the year. And even if she doesn't, it'll be a feat unto itself. She's very young, she's very talented, and she gives a very fun, moving and nuanced performance, which I think is worthy of winning. So let's hope that some of her picks are, you know, the same level of talent as she does in Anora. Now, Lulu. I wasn't very well acquainted with Pialat's work before watching this. The only other film I'd even heard of his was The Naked Children, and I haven't watched that though, you know, it was just on my Letterboxd watch list. It's been on my Letterboxd watch list for quite a while now. And this film is about many things, but Lulu begins with an evening where Nellie meets the eponymous Lulu, a down and out young man at a bar, and is decidedly bored with her life to the point where she's desperate to get away from the stagnation of it all. She cheats on her husband with Lulu, and after her husband kicks her out, she goes off to live with Lulu. The film sort of weaves on from there. The film, I think, feels incredibly aimless, but in quite a boring way. The naturalistic filmmaking, I think, makes it less enchanting than it could be. I think I prefer a much more stylized and fluid version of this film, like The Worst Person in the World. I didn't like this film, you know, like I gave it 2 stars. I don't think it had much heart. I think if it did have more heart, I think that could have been a good way to get me invested, where the neorealistic cinematography perhaps couldn't. The characters' decisions being quite unruly and outlandish didn't make me feel like the plot was interesting. Their motivations were eccentric, but without any deeper characterization to latch onto, and they then came across as childish in a dull way rather than one that invited questions and intrigue about their crazy life. I did, however, really like the settings. But I might just like Paris. The mise-en-scène of the coffee shops and the bars and the cigarettes and the studio apartments charm me in a way that I think the film itself fails to do massively. So next up we have Paris, Texas. I want to rewatch this film like 2 years from now and then tell you what I think, but I'm making this video right now, so I'll tell you anyway. The film really moved me. I think it begins with wide, open, sparse imagery, and the film is quiet and slow. The film is beautiful from the get-go, which I think then makes the lack of dialogue really intriguing. I think it helps build the power of subtle acting that's just throughout this film. The film has such a compelling visual storytelling also. Every burst of colour, of which there were many, made me more interested in the scene. I think the film feels rich with emotion as a result of the way it uses colour. Frazzled or angry, pensive or sad. There's a muted tones, there's neon tones, I think both of which sort of help highlight or sometimes even purposely contrast the mood of the scene. The design of this film, I think, is just so intricate. Every department is working so harmoniously together. Like, there's even such an incredibly heartfelt score that exacerbates the mood and aura of the film, one that is bassy and filled with ever-present thrumming. It can be softer in more thoughtful, gentle moments and heavier when the energy is heightened. The score infuses a film which can be mellow and silent with the intensity of real life. And then the film actually quite becomes indulgent with dialogue. Now, I can't sit here and say that I love this film wholeheartedly, you know. I loved everything that I've mentioned so far about the film, absolutely, like yes. But I think it moves slowly and I don't always enjoy that. However, when this hits the ground running, like it really didn't stop, it pulses with a potent sense of like reality and earnestness. I think both Harry Dean Stanton and I think her name was like Natasha Kaczynski, give world-class performances. I also think Dean Stockwell is really good in this. And also, I said in my like 3 film videos, I will fix that I watched Perfect Days before Paris, Texas, which is like not the usual order for watching Wim Wenders films. So something I noted when I was talking about that film was that there was this real fascination with highways and driving, which is a recurring visual motif in this film also. So clearly Wim Wenders just really likes highways and driving. I think there's a placelessness and restlessness and listlessness to Travis, who is the main protagonist, and I think that's like really emphasized with the openness of the highways at the beginning, the middle, and the end of this film. Ultimately, I think representing the core element of like emptiness that this film embodies, which was also quite present in Perfect Days. So that's interesting to see that mirrored here with the same director. Like, it's interesting to see themes arise when a director has one. But highways is an interesting one because I don't know, like it's so simple, but it's also such a cool, normal part of life that is like, it deserves to be represented like this. Highways, I don't know. I love transport. Transport is such a fun theme. So whenever I see it, I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. Highways. I'm so excited about highways. And so lastly, we have The Princess Diaries, a real tried and tested classic. Honestly, it was just very, very fun to rewatch this. I watched this when I didn't have any Wi-Fi in this new flat, and I couldn't immediately then watch the second one right away, which helped me like sit with this film a bit more. But I am kind of still dying to rewatch that one. I have Wi-Fi now, so I should get around to doing that. My main takeaway from this is that Anne Hathaway is a star. You know, I love that this is her first film. Like, talk about iconic beginnings. This film is so cozy, it's warm, it's an excellent choice of nostalgic favourite movie. It has such heart, something that some of these movies could learn from, and has remained deeply entertaining over the years. Like, it's cookie cutter, but like in a perfect way. It's got gorgeous colour grading and it's shot beautifully in a way that only 2000s rom-coms are. It's what light-hearted teenage fluff is all about. Activism, throwing activism away in pursuit of beauty, friendship, and then returning to activism in the face of adversity and for your friendship. The film is also very funny because of Anne Hathaway's performance. I haven't seen her new Harry Styles fanfiction movie either, but watching her do comedy here makes me much more excited. Like, I forgot that she was so like physical with it. And I'm much more excited now to get around to watching that. Also, in this movie, I forgot how much she bangs on about this car and how much the car is part of this, and that's why she gets with the guy. Like, so much car. But also, Julie Andrews. Love Julie Andrews. Loved seeing Julie Andrews. Yeah, I can't believe Julie Andrews is in this. Now, from these choices, Mikey Madison, I think, emerges as someone quite thoughtful. You know, throwing the Princess Diaries in there, I think, instead of the Prince of Brooklyn, maybe muddies the vibe a little bit. But the first two, at least, are cohesively somber in theme. The characters are adrift, they're temperamental, they're lost. There's an attack against the norm where they have tried to run away from their life and then have to come back to it. Which, like, kind of honestly is also what The Princess Diaries is about, in essence. So maybe Mikey Madison just really likes films about breaking free, leaving the mold, and learning why leaving can be a positive thing. But also how that action, like, awards you a sense of freedom. The films will also showcase the need for the mold. I think the foundation that it sets out for you is seen as, like, important. Like, all while realizing that it's not really, like, what you run off to do, but knowing that you need to find a new reality. So sometimes it's not always like we definitely need the foundation, we definitely need the mold, but then we need something new, and that you need to like carefully consider what the new mold is, instead of just like making rash decisions. Yeah, but like that's what every movie's about. Maybe I'm just like chatting nonsense. So like, is that what this collection of films means? I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. There's not like a conclusive through line, you know, just my opinions. So, you know, those were the 3 films that I wanted to review. Go watch these films, or don't. You might have already watched these films. Paris, Texas, and Princess Diaries are very popular. Thank you for watching this though. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're really about it, and hope you have a great day. See you next time.